This is the Fight Fan. We're your host, Pete Hoffman. We have a very special guest right now joining us, Jasmin St. Jasmin, how are you doing?
I could be better. When you say special, I don't know if I should take it because I told you I'm afraid of needles, but I'm going to get like a drip infusion, or special in a good way because I'm just really sensitive. No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's special in a fantastic. It's special in a fantastic way. There's so many connections that you and I kind of have, but let's just dive into it, okay? So
Yes, thank you. I
one of
can't
the
see you.
oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, well, I apologize. I hear you. I see. We see you. We got you. We got a lot. We're locked in here. So, Jasmin, you are famous for a lot of different reasons, but one of the first ones is from being a huge star on the Howard Stern show, which is where
Yes.
I got my first internship back in 2002.
Oh,
I think I missed you, but I was working at K Rock from 2002 to about 2009. Did we how when was your last appearance on Howard Stern? Do you recall?
probably like 2000, 2001. So we
I
just
just
missed each
missed,
other.
yeah.
I know that I was trying to get back on the show because I really want to get back on his show again. I love doing his show. And to me, he was super cool. He always has been. And I think a lot of people have moved on. Some of the people he's had on the show from that era have moved on to like really cool things, and some haven't. I'm glad he's like happily married to a mega babe and living in Florida for sure.
Um, so we were on Howard Stern for many years. We had the whole adult film industry that you were
Yeah.
involved in that really put you in fame. And I read up that you like, a lot of it was a farce and all this other stuff. But explain to me how you've turned and transitioned being in the adult film industry and turned into a successful mainstream career. Because that's tough. That's not easy.
Yeah, no, it really is. Let's see. So, well, the first thing would be the wrestling, obviously, and that was from meeting the Dudley Boys. Okay, and they introduced me to Paul Heyman. Then it was just the whole, I don't know if you guys know anything about improv, just the whole thing of commitment. Um, I'm like at a whole nother level of commitment. I just got bored. I mean, I was a figure in like American shock culture. I wasn't just another adult film star. That's so boring. That's such an insult. Um, but I just feel as though, I didn't know. I just didn't belong there. And I had an opportunity. I grew up watching wrestling. Really quick, funny story. And I promise I will not get like Mike Lindell crazy. Um, because he goes off on his rants. Uh, he does. So a few weeks ago, I normally live in Santa Monica, California. This homeless guy grabbed me. Okay. So of course I did what I had to do. But the most offensive thing is he had a WrestleMania shirt on from the WrestleMania I was at, which is at Skydome, Toronto, which is Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. So then going into wrestling, like meeting the Dudley Boys, and then they introduced me to Paul Heyman. I didn't think it was real. It was just so. It's a different type of energy that you get when you're um, on there in a ring with like millions and hundreds of people and thousands of people around you. And I was so new to it, and that's the first time I really learned to wrestle. Then I obviously took classes after. I was trained by a glow girl, uh, and it was fun. I would say that's the most. It was an amusing time, and I would gladly relive wrestling any day of the week. It was great.
What type
And
of
it's
what
not fake, it's orchestrated. MMA, no, I don't think so, especially with the way things are going. I mean, yeah, so
Where well, let me explain. Let me ask you this, because how much training did it take for you to get into the ring? Like, did it take you a long time? Obviously, you had passion for wrestling. You enjoyed it, but like, how long did it actually take you to your first training session to actually get into the ring?
that same day. um, just a few months before. So I had met Sue Sexton, who was a glow girl. She was from Australia, and she had her own ring in Calabasas, California. So I said, all right, let me go drive an hour and a half up to Calabasas in the heat and train outside in the ring with this woman, which I did. Um, and you see what the dynamics of everything are, like how to take these bumps and so forth. And uh, it's just something I wanted to do. It was different. I mean, I enjoyed being there. And there are times I just, I wasn't sure because you're there like sweating in an outdoor ring and just eventually getting into ECW. Like I had very limited um, knowledge of first pay-per-view. I was trained like that same morning and how to take a Stone Cold Stunner. Obviously, I was nervous on the microphone. If you can't tell already, I was blinking, which I do all the time now because of dry eye from taking classes this past year and a half on Zoom, some dialect classes. Then I was just nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And I just decided to pursue it. But because of my size, I was always used as a manager. So I would get thrown around by 300-pound guys every weekend, which is totally fine. Yeah, totally normal. Your body's used to it, no big deal. Then like I wrestled a few matches, like against Sherry Martel, who I was a big fan of. It's a shame she passed away. I certainly never wrestled a guy in the ring. Sorry, I went off on that whole thing. I know. I shouldn't be like going off on these things. Okay, let me stop.
You can go off on whatever you want, Jasmin. It's okay. And by the way, the reason why we have Jasmin on, by the way, is if you're in New York, there's a huge event. You have a huge event at the Cutting Room this Friday in New York City. Talk about that.
Right, you got to be there at B Square at 9:30 p.m. Friday at the Cutting Room. Amazing drinks. Oh, and they have this like Stratocaster shaped bar, like a guitar. It's so cool. It's really pretty. So it's I have my one woman show, Weird Kind of Fame, which is now we're just formatting it differently that night because it hasn't been up on its feet for like a year. So we're doing a whole special thing with my co-host Greg Alprin, who's working with me on my podcast Crazy Train. We're going to be doing a whole Q&A thing, which are the stories from the actual show that will make it to the stage that night. And there'll be stories on there, I already know what they are, that are not in the show or in the podcast yet, that will be on that stage. Then, of course, there'll be like a very intimate meet and greet. So I'll be there to meet and greet. I have a few t-shirts. I didn't bring too much like merchandise this time. Then we'll be doing a Q&A with the audience, which I never do. Like if I can avoid that shit, I will avoid that shit. Am I allowed to curse? I don't give a shit. Am I allowed to? Okay, yeah.
You can shit as much as you want.
Right. So yeah, so it's not like no fuckery allowed, like no stupidity. Then anyway, getting back to the wrestling. This is what I meant about the whole Mike Lindell thing. So it's just changed now. Like it's such fuckery, like with men wrestling women or people who are like, I'm beside myself. Like I'm still trying to get over that whole MMA incident a few weeks ago with a woman with a cracked skull who went and did a fight with a trans female, which is great. You want to transform, that is perfectly fine, but who is in the military. So I just hope they figure it out because I think it's a great sport for everyone. Everyone should be included, but I'm all about that.
Well, I want to follow up on that, Jasmin, because I'm a diehard MMA fan, huge MMA fan. But I'm also equal into like you are. I'm all into accepting of everybody. Like, listen, you have to be yourself. That's okay. But how do you even draw the lines of a transgender as far as where they can compete? Is it where do you stand as far as like, because we want to be PC, we want to be open-minded and be accepting, but how are you supposed to where are we supposed to draw the line as far as people that transition and then they want to compete in other sports that they're not part of? I mean, I'm not sure even how to explain it.
No, I understand what you're saying. So here's what it is. And I actually discussed this with my doctor because I do hormone panels like every few months just to make sure like I'm on top of things. I'm on HGH, but these whole things like you guys have different things than we do, obviously, not just between the legs, but you just do. Your muscles are different. You have you have more strength. No matter how many steroids a woman takes, it's still a different bone mass. And I feel as though being that this person was in the military prior and you have just someone that's an MMA fighter, I don't think that's fair. Even if that was a female, I feel as though if they want to do those things, go ahead, but I don't think that they should be going up against women for the specific stake of the specific issue of bones, structure, strength, and then you have military training. So you're trained. It's like me going into a fight with Machine Gun Kelly. I'd beat the living shit out of him. But I'm sorry, I can't stand him. I mean, Machine Gun, it's just the original gangster would be insulted. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, I love it. No, don't even stop. I love this. And by the way,
Yeah,
so
but you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
guessing I'm
then
guessing you're
you
a Conor
have,
McGregor fan. You're a Conor McGregor fan. Are you a Conor McGregor fan?
yes, I heard about that. And he'll only fight a man, not a bitch, wearing like silver stuff on his face. Like, does anyone even go to his shows? You think of rap or hip hop, you think of like NWA because that stuff's real. And yeah, I heard what you and McGregor, when Connor said, he's like, I'd fight a man. Was he Australian or something?
Irish, Scott, Connor.
I fight him. I fight a man. I fight a man. You know, I wouldn't fight him. He's a kid. Yeah, he's a kid. And like what that girl is doing with him is above and beyond me because she's like hot and she's talented. Like, ooh, seriously.
All right, so hold on, we're all over the place because now, and there's something else because we don't have much time with you, and I have so many questions. One thing that I need to dive into with you, because I am, again, I told you I worked at K Rock. I'm a big rock fan. Like that's my bread and butter. That's how I started off. I started in rock radio. I tried to be in bands forever. The biggest thing I ever did was to open up for Alien Ant Farm. I know it's not the same as some other bands, but you were into like Sepultura and all this other stuff. So what is your favorite band of all time? Obviously, Black Sabbath, I'm assuming, is going to be up there.
Why would you even ask me that? That's such a. Did you have a mullet by any chance?
I did not have a mullet. No, never had a mullet.
All right, good. So now that we got that shit out of the way, it's like so obviously Black Sabbath because my babysitter took me to see them. I have a Sepultura tattoo on my wrist that made it into their documentary.
Awesome.
I would say King Diamond, Suffocation, let's see, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest.
You're just all metal Metallica. Now. You're all
I
metal
always
now.
have been, yeah. Like I was never into like the guys and that shit. Like nowadays, like when I worked as a VJ, it was a different thing. You know, I was there to actually learn more about bands and to interview them and spread the word, spread the good word. But then you get these girls that are like groupies with a freaking microphone doing interviews. It's like, what interview are you doing? Sucking on the goddamn mic or something like that? So I don't know how I'm going to, I feel like I'm in good form now because we're talking about this. Now you have me going. And I mean, I'm not quite as animate as like the Iron Sheik. So
Iron Sheik is very rare form that what he can do with a Twitter platform. He is very creative. Let's put it that way.
But who's more creative, him or Mike Lindell?
That is true. Yes, you're right. Yes, you have a fair point there. Listen, Jasmin, my favorite band, by the way, is the Deftones. I love them. I went all the way to Amsterdam to go see them. I saw them at the Paradiso. It was a abandoned church that I saw them in. What is the craziest concert that you've ever been to that you even traveled to go see? I know I stumped you on that. Sorry. I do that.
Having a blonde moment. So you could just take one of these. Let's see. I don't know. Like I remember being in Amsterdam. Oddly enough, then I was in a tattoo parlor getting a tattoo, and I heard 3 Inches of Blood on the radio, or on the on the radio. So the next day when I came back to LA, or 2 days later, I got through security and everything, and then I got in my car. I went home, I got in my car, and I washed up real quick. I took a bird bath. Then I went straight to San Diego to see 3 Inches of Blood. Like they opened up for Metal Church. Now I saw Metal Church when the Ritz was there, opening up for Wasp years ago, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. And then I still have my jersey and everything. So I have my In the Dark tour T-shirt still. Then, like any jersey you see me wear, it's real. Like from the show. Then let's see. Then I went to the show. So the new singer of Metal Church was like saying hi to me. I didn't know who the hell you were. He got like his butt hurt, I think, or something or another. It was just really sad. I heard he passed away, or I don't know if he's still alive. But anyway, his name was what was his name? Anyway, so I went to see 3 Inches of Blood, but my weirdest or most outrageous thing, I would say, living in Norway, Inferno Festival, was seeing Ghost, and seeing them live was really cool. I don't know, like, was it outrageous? I don't know. See, I've been going to shows since like the 90s, like when you see Exodus in a mosh pit, and it was so, I don't know, what
Were
is the
you in the
crazy?
were you a mosh pit girl? Were you one of those
Oh
girls
yeah,
in the mosh pit?
I would crowd surf, but when you fell back then, people actually pick you up. So I fell a few times, whatever. I got picked up. Why are you saying I got thrown on my head or something?
No, no, no. Listen, I'm from New York City, so like I used to live at Irving Plaza. I used to live at
Yeah.
Roseland. I used to live at all those places. And I remember going to like Chevelle shows back in the day. And when they opened up for like Chevelle, when Chevelle opened for it was Disturbed, Static X, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember and I think it was Dope. I don't know if you remember the band Dope. Chevelle opened
I
up for
was on
those
their album
bands
cover. I was on their album cover, Group Therapy. I was the silver nurse.
on Dope.
Mm-hmm. Etzel's one of my good friends. Yes.
Oh my God, get it. I didn't even realize that. No shit. So but I remember going to the Chevelle show. I remember seeing some dude get drop kicked in the chest on the opening song of a Chevelle song. And I was just like,
Why?
this is the pit. This is the mosh pit in New York City. This is, I mean, I loved it. I was in it, but that's why I'm like, you were rocking the mosh pits. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I've been going to these shows since I was like literally a kid.
You created the mosh pit.
Yeah, I created that mosh pit. Look, I created that crazy train. I drove the crazy train. Now I host the crazy train every Friday night on your favorite podcast platform. See, I wish you guys were open more in the studio. But anyway, so I would still say the crazy show. I would say in Scandinavia, it was seeing that. The most unusual show I did see when I first moved to Scandinavia, that's when I worked as a metal DJ in Norway for quite some time. I got to see Enslaved do a really intimate set at their in Norway at this art park that was there in Frogna, and they did this really nice acoustic set there. It was really cool.
Really? That's awesome. I saw the one acoustic set that I loved the most was I saw a Perfect Circle at what was it? What's the Jimi Hendrix studio in the city? And I can't remember what Electric
It was
Lady.
Electric Lady.
Yeah, and
I used to work across the street from there, and it's only rock and roll.
that's great. Rock and roll, my goodness. God bless you. Listen, your career is unbelievable. We do need to get you in studio. We need to get you back up here. It was a blast. Time
Tomorrow.
flew.
Tomorrow. No, I have 5 more minutes, so tomorrow.
Okay. Well, maybe tomorrow. Let's give it a shot. I have to see. I will try to work this out. But listen,
I could bring Ferrara's pastries if that seduces you. I could bring Ferrara's pastries fresh because I know the owner.
see, the thing is that I'm trying to be good on my diet. You're killing
Who
me.
cares? Who
Well,
you
my wife,
who you dieting for?
my wife cares. My kids care.
Don't worry about it. I'll give them.
Don't worry. Don't worry
take
about
it
them.
home.
I'll bring it home to them. Right, exactly. Listen, Jasmin, can you explain to me what type of wrestling do you like today? Do you still watch wrestling? Do you watch MMA? What is your favorite type of entertainment sport in the world today that you watch?
Guns. No. I do like guns. But I like pro wrestling. Sometimes I don't watch it as much. I just feel like it's lost a lot to it since Vince bought everything. I probably watch XPW wrestling because that's kind of where I did start when I was quitting adult films. XPW wrestling was formed from the same guy who owned Extreme Associates. Then that's how I started met the Dudley Boys because he brought in a couple of wrestlers, and then I became friends with them. And I'm like, yeah, I just like, this is so much fun. Oh yeah, we can help you get into ECW, really. So that's how the whole thing happened. And in fact, my old boss is the one that sort of introduced me to Paul Heyman in a way because of the Dudley Boys. It's this weird circle thing.
It's weird circle, yeah.
Right. So I'll watch his things. I'll support him because it's extreme hardcore wrestling. I mean, that pile driver where I was taken off the top rope, they've outlawed those. They banned it. Like, I don't know why. And I could have broken my neck, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the safety issue is a concern, I guess.
Like, hardcore wrestling will not be the same. So I have a lot of faith in XPW wrestling. Their debut shows in November. So I really I want him to do well. That's the only wrestling I'll watch.
How about MMA? Do you watch the MMA? Do you watch the celebrity fights? Do you enjoy that stuff at all or no?
I'd like to get into a fight with Machine Gun Kelly.
Let's go. You know, I bet we could set that up.
Let's go. Let's go. I would just get woo. I can't stand like so much just some of the things he spewed out and just that look. No, actually that wouldn't be fair because then I would be a hypocrite. But I don't really I do watch MMA sometimes, but after that night I can't watch it. After that poor girl had her skull cracked. I'm a huge Tito Ortiz fan. I really think he's great. I know his girlfriend Amber, who's amazing, gorgeous UFC like ring girl, but they're like a really good power couple. So I'm a huge Tito Ortiz fan. I like Conor a lot of what they're doing. Really do they put their bodies on the line just like with wrestling, and I feel as though it just I don't know what the next step is, but cracking someone's skull is pretty that's pretty hardcore and pretty brash.
Yeah, no, I understand. I listen, I'm not supportive of it. It's a very confusing time because
I'm not supportive either.
You're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to be listen, and also you got to remember too, and this is what is confusing me more than anything else. Someone has to agree to fight that person. Someone has to say, "I'll take that fight."
Not me.
Not you. Not me either. Not me either. Jasmin, before I let you go, you have the cutting room this Friday, 9:30 at the cutting room, Jasmin St. Clair, the one woman show. You have the Crazy Train, which premieres this Friday as well.
It drops this night at this time. Crazy Train podcast drops Friday the 24th. We'll be doing a live session at the cutting room as well. That's now. And then we'll also be every Friday it'll drop on Apple, Spotify. So start following it. Like, I don't know what people are waiting for. And I promise this is the dosage. Just me now, even though I'm not feeling too good today, this is just a small dose of me in bad form. But when I'm in like Jasmin form, whoop, yeah, then it's the real Crazy Train.
That's good. Well, listen, we have to get you back up here. We have to get you healthy first of all. That's very important. Get you healthy because you got a big show Friday. We need the people to be entertained.
I'll be fine by tonight. It's just sushi, it's just like I'll be fine by tomorrow. But I'd love to come on the show if you guys work something out. I'd be more than happy to, or even on Friday, just whatever works.
Jasmin, I appreciate it. Listen, and what give all your social media handles too. Give us anything else you want to promote just so that we make sure that we get it to the people.
Sure. So Jasmin doesn't have an E, Claire does. So it's twitter.com/Jasmin St. Clair, Instagram /the real Jasmin St. Clair, because there are many fake ones out there. And my stuffed toy cat, Sock St. Clair, follow her on Twitter. Then on Facebook, it's just Jasmin St. Clair.
Awesome. Jasmin, thank you so much for the time. Good luck. Be safe. Good luck with the needles. You'll be fine. Trust me, I had one yesterday. You're going to be okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right, Jasmin, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon, okay? We'll see what we can do tomorrow, okay?
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Jasmin. Thanks so much for the time.
Peace, Stellar.
All right, you too. Bye.